Good morning and thank you for joining me today. We are going to do a Pilates session. I'm going to start sitting today. I'm going to start up sitting on my block. You're welcome to sit on your mat or a yoga block or a thick book or whatever you feel most comfortable sitting on. I'm going to find my sit bones left and right, rock my way gently through the both of them, try and get the weight nice and even. Once I found my weight nice and even, I'm going to press down to the sit bones, lengthen up through the spine. Lengthen up through the neck, feel the top of the head reaching all the way up to the ceiling. I'm going to take a nice big breath here. So on my breath in, thinking about getting a little space in between the bones in my back, just gently separating out the vertebrae here. And on my exhale, I'm just going to let my shoulders settle and just let go of any tension that I might be storing there. And then I'm going to start to move the shoulders. So I'm going to lift the shoulders up to the ears, roll them forwards and down, squeeze behind you, lift up. And roll forwards and down. Behind you and up. Roll forwards and down. Behind you and up. And forwards and down. Change direction. Roll forwards, lift up. Squeeze behind you and down. Now keep rolling those shoulders, but stay nice and long and tall in your spine. Continuing to press down into the sit bones, lengthening all the way up to the top of the head. Let's go one more up. Squeeze behind you, bring them down, and then let's bring the arms in and bring a bit of breath in. So we're going to reach the arms forwards and up, breathing in deeply through the nose. And then we're going to exhale, we're going to stretch those arms out nice and wide, take them all the way back down by your sides. Big breath in through the nose, lengthen all the way to the ceiling. And then exhale out through those pursed lips as we lower the arms back down. Breathing in, take the breath, fill the lungs. Exhale out through the pursed lips like you're blowing up a balloon or like you're blowing out through a straw. One more. Inhale, lengthen to the ceiling, reach for the stars. And then open the chest out on the way back out. Then change direction, arms out to the sides, lift to the ceiling, grow very tall. Now see if you can keep that length in the spine as the arms come forwards and down. Breathing in deeply, widening the chest, then lifting the arms. Exhaling. Starting to notice that nice little contraction of the abdominals on the way down. One more. Inhale out to the sides, up to the ceiling. Exhale to reach forwards and down on this last one. This is the last one. We're going to take the arms out to the sides, lift to the ceiling on our inhale, but this time on our exhale, as the arms come forward, we're going to gently flex that spine. Bring the fingertips down towards the ankles. We're going to relax the head, neck, and shoulders, and we'll stay here for 3 breaths. So we're going to breathe in through the nose. Fill the lungs all the way down to the lower lobes on the inhale. And then we're going to exhale out through the pursed lips. And just notice that nice contraction of the abdominals as we resist the air coming out. And breathing in deeply, fill your lungs, expand your rib cage out like an accordion. Exhaling out through the pursed lips and just noticing those ribs gently softening in towards each other again. One more time, breathe in, nice and wide. And then exhale, we're going to draw the abdominals up and then we're going to work from there to lift ourselves back up. So gently restacking one bone on top of the next until we're all the way back up tall. Take your arms out to the sides, lift to the ceiling on your inhale, reach. And then exhale, try and keep a little space in between the bones in your back as you round over. Relax the head, neck, and shoulders. We'll stay here for another couple of breaths. So breathing in and bringing all of your attention and focus inwards onto your body and onto your breath. And then on your exhale, just making that conscious decision to let go of any tension, stress, or strain you might be carrying, particularly through the neck and the shoulders. Just let it melt away as you breathe out. And then breathing in and bringing life and energy and oxygen back into the body. All the good things. And then exhaling, drawing those abdominals up and in. Build your way gently back up to your nice tall self. Roll those shoulders back and down. Cross your ankles in front of you. Stay even through your sit bones. Take your arms out to the sides. Take your hands just a little lower than shoulder height. Breathe in and lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, let's go to the right. We're going to bring that right hand down towards the floor. We're going to bend into that elbow. Keep the shoulder out of the ear. And take the left arm up and over for the side bend. And then I'm going to inhale. Float back to center. Nice wide arms. Exhale to the other side. Stretch away long through those fingertips. Inhale gently back to center. Exhale, over I go. I keep length through that top arm. I'm trying not to bend the elbow. I'm reaching away with the arm. Inhale, glide back to center. Exhale, up and over. Think about getting a little space in between the ribs here at the side. Inhale, Roll tall in your return. One more each side. Exhale, over we go. Keep that bottom shoulder down away from your ear. Inhale, glide back to center. And exhale, over you go to the other side. Reach through the fingertips. And inhale to come all the way back to center. This time on your exhale, you're going to roll back off your sit bones, curl back, round yourself, bring yourself into a little ball, wrap your arms around an imaginary giant beach ball in front of you. And then inhale, glide your way back up, send the shoulders down, lift the chest up and forwards, gently pressing the arms back behind you. And again, exhale, start by drawing up through the pelvic floor, in through the abdominals, wrap yourself into a little ball. And inhale, glide back up, shoulders down, chest is lifted. One more. Exhale, we curl back. Notice the abdominals are taking you back into that flexion. So you're not just pressing out through the back, you're drawing in through the front. And inhale, gliding up, shoulders down, and chest is lifted. Lower the arms back down, straight out those shoulders if you need to. You're going to take the block out from underneath you if you're using one. And we're going to come to laying down on the mat. So lay yourself down on your back, tilt and tuck your pelvis so you're nice and neutral. So remember, pubic bone and hip bone's nice and even. Little gap between your low spine and the mat. Ribs are gently in, and your tailbone is nice and heavy. Arms are down by your sides. Your feet are hip distance apart. Let's breathe in. Take the breath nice and low. Let's exhale out through the pursed lips. Think of zipping from your tailbone through your pubic bone, through your belly button, through your rib cage, tightening everything in. Then you're going to zip the pubic bone up towards you, bring that low back onto the mat. Then you're going to press into your feet and you're going to peel yourself away. So I'm lifting my low back, then my middle back, then the back of the rib cage, rolling across my shoulder blades and coming to rest right on the top part of my shoulder blades here. I'm going to inhale here, think of reaching my knees forwards in a way, get that space through the front of the hips. And then on my exhale, I'm going to melt my way back down again. So blowing out through my pursed lips, soften my chest down towards the floor. I bring the back of the rib cage down. Then the belly button comes down towards the floor. Then I come onto the sacrum. I roll across that sacrum. The tailbone comes down. The low back lifts slightly away. Watch the ribs don't start to poke up though. Inhale here. Exhale to tilt. So tighten the tummy, zip the pubic bone up, bring your low back onto the mat, and then press into your feet, all on your exhale as you roll away from the mat. Inhale at the top, think of that open space through the front of the hips, that long line between your knees, hips, ribs, and shoulders. And then that nice exhale to take you back down. So you're using your exhale to kind of keep control through the body as you bring yourself all the way back down, one bone after the next, and roll back to neutral. One more like that, breathe in here. Exhale, creating that tension through the body first. Zip the pubic bone up and then peel from there. Roll yourself away from that mat like a heavy chain being lifted up one link at a time. Inhale at the top, be nice and firm on your feet here. And then exhale, keep thinking of reaching the knees forwards in a way. Keep zipping that pubic bone up towards you. Bring yourself down through the center of the spine and come all the way back to neutral. We're going to inhale here. We're going to take 3 more. We're going to take the arms with us this time, but it's optional obviously. Exhale, so create that tilt in the pelvis first, then press into the feet and roll yourself away from the mat. Now on my inhale, I'm going to maintain this shape and I'm going to pick my hands up and bring them back overhead. As the arms come back, be careful the ribs don't start to lift, so keep the same shape through your body. And now exhale, roll your way back down through the spine. Notice that extra feeling of length through the body as you take yourself back to base. Then it's a nice long inhale as the hands come back up to the ceiling and the arms float back down by your sides. Then you're straight into an exhale to create that tilt and roll away again. So you start to notice the flow of the movement. Inhale, arms coming up and over. Watch the knees don't fall apart. Be nice and firm on those feet. Exhale, melt your way back down through that spine, roll your way back down onto the mat. And then inhale, float those arms back down by your sides. Last one. Exhale, tilt and roll away. Inhale, arms coming up and over. Exhale, melt down through that spine. And inhale, float your arms back down. Like little waves, yeah. Take your knees in towards your chest, just gently rock from side to side. Release out that low back a little. And then pop one foot down, second foot down. You're gonna roll straight onto your side from here. I'm gonna pop one hand under my head. I'm gonna bend my knees in so they're in line with my hips, and then I'm gonna bring my feet forwards to the front of the mat so my feet end up underneath my knees. I'm gonna take my free arm out in front of me. I'm gonna take that hand up to the ceiling, breathing in here. And then I'm gonna exhale and take this arm back behind me. I'm gonna turn around and look for it so my chest ends up facing up towards the ceiling. Get that nice rotation here. I'm gonna breathe into it. And then on my exhale, I'm gonna tighten my tummy first. And notice my torso turning around, my abdominals doing the work, and the arm just coming along with me for the spin. And then we go again, so hand comes up to the ceiling on our inhale. And then we exhale. Using that exhale to slow things down, so I'm bringing myself back rather than falling back into position. Inhaling here, keep your knees together, keep your knees on the mat. And then exhale, use those abdominals to take you all the way back to your start position. Beautiful. Bring your feet forwards, push your way up to sitting. Give your legs a little shake if you need to. Take your arms out to the sides and up to the ceiling. Remember, you can bend your knees if you need to at this point. And on our exhale, we're going to draw the tummy in, round our way up and over, reaching the fingers out over the toes. Remember, bend your knees if it feels like too much through the backs of your legs. Going to inhale to stay. And then I'm going to exhale and roll my way back up through that spine. Gently does it. Restack everything. Come all the way to the top. Circle the arms nice and wide. And we'll come down onto the other side. So bring your feet that way. Pop your head into your hand. Lengthen your torso out. Bend your knees in. Bring your feet forward. Take your free hand out in front, same as before. We're going to take that hand up to the ceiling on our inhale. And then on our exhale, allow yourself to come back. Using that exhale to stay nice and strong through the midline as we take ourselves back. And one side might feel a little more restricted or a little less restricted than the other. Let's inhale to stay. You turn around, you're looking for that arm. And then exhale, tighten the tummy and bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. Don't pull with the arm. Move through the torso. One more. Inhale, hand to ceiling. And then exhale to bring yourself back and around. Let that chest face the ceiling. Allow for that nice rotation through the spine. Now breathe into the space that you're making. And then exhale. Draw everything back to the start. Well done. We're going to turn around now. We're going to face onto the mat. We want to come up onto our hands and knees. So we're going to have hands under shoulders, knees under hips, nice long spine. Glide the shoulders down away from the ears. I'm going to turn my elbows to the wall behind me. I'm just going to help to keep my shoulders and shoulder blades in a nice position. Nice long neck, so try not to let the head fall forward, but equally try not to lift the eye line too much, because if you can see, as I lift my head, I start to go into this little bit of extension here in my upper back. So I'm just going to think about looking straight down towards this space in between my hands maybe. Watch that we're not falling into the low back. Keep the ribs in, and equally watch that you're not rounding. So much to think about. So I think of having a nice little tabletop on my back, a little T-set on that tabletop. So we're going to keep that T-set nice and steady. We're going to start off easy and we'll work our way up here. So you can stick with whatever bit suits you best. We're going to take a nice big breath. And again, I'm going to breathe nice and low. And then on my exhale, I'm going to tighten my tummy in. I'm shifting the weight onto this left hand. And I'm going to reach my right arm forwards. The aim is not to get your arm as high as you can. The aim is to stay nice and stable through the torso as the arm moves away from you. So it doesn't matter how high it is. You can have it hovering off the mat if that's better for you. Inhale, take it back in. Now as you take it back in, it's a very gentle shift of the weight. It's an anticipation through your abdominals really. And then exhaling, we move through the other arm. So the other arm moves away, and one arm might feel a little bit more secure than the other, and that's normal, don't worry. Inhale to come back in, gently does it, shift the weight. It's a gentle shift of the weight, we're not spilling any tea. Exhale, we'll reach to the other side. So the shoulders still drawing down the back, the tummy stays nice and tight as the arm reaches. Inhale to come back in, gently shift the weight, full handprint underneath you. Exhale, close the space between your hips and ribs, and then reach the opposing arm away. Keep pressing into the arm that's on the floor so we don't fall into that shoulder. And inhale to come back in, and then we're going to go for the legs. I'm going to slide my right foot away from me, and then I'm going to lift it up. And again, this isn't about height, so if I go too high, I'm going to dip into that low back, so I keep it at a level. And then I bring it back in. Now as I bring it back in, I don't want to spill any tea, so there should be space for it to come in without me moving my torso too much. Exhale, tighten the tummy in, slide the left foot away, and then lift it up. Think of the back of the thigh lifting up towards the ceiling rather than your foot lifting towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back in, gently shifting the weight. Exhale, reach away, lengthen out. Nice long leg, try and straighten the knee if you can. Inhale, glide back in, and we still nice and long through that neck. One more. Exhale, we glide away, we reach out long. And inhale, we come all the way back in. Send your hips back, stretch your arms forward. You're going to take a little breather. We're going to put it all together. Bring those wrists out if you need to. Squeeze those fingers out if you need to. And then come back up. Remember, hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. You've made that little box position underneath you, or that box shape underneath you. So try not to have like too much space or too little space, which sometimes I see as well, okay? Shoulders down away from the ears, elbows turn to the wall behind you. Tummy is tight. So if you can imagine, you have an X here on the front of your body, from hip to bottom rib, and from other hip to other bottom rib. That X, we're going to close that X in, keep that X nice and tight, so that we're not splaying out through the ribs or anything like that, okay? So if you hear me saying close your X, that's what I mean, just not to confuse you here. So send the shoulders down, nice long spine, keep the tummy nice and tight. We're going to breathe in, and then we're going to breathe out. Now remember, the T set is nice and steady. We're going to slide the right hand and the left foot along the mat. So I'm keeping contact with the mat for as long as I can, and then I'm reaching away. So fingers away from toes. Watch that your tummy doesn't fall down here. Keep in, close the X, and then inhale, take everything back to base. So it's a gentle shift of the weight into the opposing sides, and then exhaling to reach away. So keep contact with the mat and then reach away long. Remember, it's length rather than height. Keep pressing into the hand that's on the floor. Inhale to glide back in. Gently shift. And again, exhale. So really working the abdominals to keep steady through the torso. This is great work for your back as well. Inhale to come back in, shift the weight. Exhale, and if I look around too much doing this one, I'm going to fall over. So you just need to concentrate on what you're doing. Don't be thinking about anything else. Just notice what's happening through your body. Notice all those lovely connections that you have. Reach away, fingers from toes. Keep the eye line down. Keep lifting that chest up. Inhale back in. We've one more here. Exhale. So exhaling to begin my movement, drawing my tummy in, keeping nice and strong through my midline, keep pressing into the arms on the floor, keep the chest lifted, keep your T set on, and then inhale to come back in. Sit back in your heels, stretch your arms, bring your wrists out if you need to, squeeze your fingers out if you need to. And then we come back up for one last hurrah. Now, of course, if this next bit feels like too much, it's more of an intermediate move, so if you prefer to keep doing what you're doing, then you keep doing what you're doing. And just concentrating on getting that part done, okay? So send the shoulders down, lift the chest up, turn the elbows to the wall behind you, tighten the legs at the front of your body, so stay nice and strong for me. Let's inhale to prepare. We're going to add a little bit on this time. And we're going to exhale, we're going to glide the right hand, the left leg, this slide away. Remember, it is opposite arm to opposite leg, not the same side. So out we go. We're going to inhale just to maintain this shape for a second. And then on my exhale, I'm going to take my hand out to the side and I'm going to take my leg out to the side. So like a little windmill, out we go. And then I'm going to bring it back so that the arm reaches forward and the leg reaches back. And again, exhale. So tighten the tummy and try and keep your hips level. And inhale to come back in. Keep pressing into the arm that's on the floor. We have one more here. Exhale, swing out to the side. So my right arm is moving to the right, my left leg is moving to the left. Inhale, I take everything back out long. And then exhale, take everything back in. Whew, that's hard to do when you're talking. Shift the weight onto the other side. Send the shoulders down, reset if you need to. Exhale, close that X at the front of your body, shrink it in. Slide your left hand and your right leg away this time. Now, take a breath. Smile. Exhale, taking that right leg out to the right, taking my left arm out to the left. So we're just opening everything out. And inhale to come back, reach long. Show it from the front. And again. So exhale, the leg moves to the side, the arm moves to the side. We try and keep the chest level. And inhale to come back. Good. One more. Exhale. Tighten the tummy in, keep the hips level, keep the chest wide. Inhale, take it back. And then exhale. Finally, take everything back in. Sit back in those heels. That's a toughie. Roll those wrists, squeeze those fingers. All right, well done. We're going to walk the hands over to the right, send the hips over to the left. Find a little space on that left side. Breathe in wide. Exhale, walk your hands back through center. Send your hands to the left and your hips to the right. Take a nice wide breath here. And then come all the way back to center. Take yourself back forwards. And then we're going to come to sitting. Whew, for a little bit of ab work. The abs are awake, let me tell you. I'm just going to wake them up a little bit more. All right, we're going to step this one out. So we'll take it in little stages. I'm going to use my headlock under my head at some point, so I'm going to just leave it nearby. You can stick with whatever stage suits you best today. So I'm going to start nice and neutral, so tilt and tuck the pelvis so we're nice and neutral. Hips are level, cubic bone and hip bones are nice and even. Tailbone is down, a little gap between my low spine. Space for a blueberry under my low back, basically. That's what I like to say. Think of the ribs being softly in, so just deepen them down, make them nice and heavy. I'm going to pick up my right knee and bring it over my right hip. Now when I lift up my right knee, sometimes the tendency is to bring that knee too close to roll onto the low back. Okay, so now my blueberry underneath my back is squished into the mat. I don't want that. I want to stay neutral. So I'm going to bring my knee a little further away. It's slightly closer than my hip, but it's not far. In an ideal world, it's directly over my hip, but sometimes it's easier from when it moves in and out to have it a little closer. But just don't have it so close that you start to roll onto that low back. So keep space for the blueberry under the low back. We're going to bring one hand either side of that knee. If you find that you're kind of curling away a little bit, that's when your head block comes in. You're going to put that underneath your head. Now my shoulders are a little bit lifted, more room through my arms. Okay, so sometimes that could be a nice addition if you need it, or cushion, or whatever you have. So we're going to take a breath here. And then my exhale, I'm going to send that leg away. I'm going to reach it out nice and long, stretch it away, pointy toes, draw the kneecap up towards me. So nice strong leg, and then draw it back in towards me. Exhale, we reach away long. Glutes are engaged underneath, quads are active on the top. Inhale to come back in. It's not a spaghetti leg. As it moves away, it lengthens out. I'm really reaching to the other side of the room here, but I'm keeping my hips nice and level. Inhale to come back in. One more. Exhale. Deepen my abdominals. Close the X at the front of the body. Bring it in. And inhale to come back in. Bring that foot down. Lift up the other leg. So again, notice the low back hasn't come onto the mat as my knee lifts off. Exhale, I send the leg away. So reach it away. As the leg moves away, the abdominals draw in. My hips and ribs knit towards each other to combat the weight of the leg there. And inhale to come back in. Because if I don't engage my abdominals as the leg moves away, the back is going to arch, the ribs are going to lift because the leg is heavy. So I just stop that by engaging through the abdominals first. Inhale to come back in. So this is just getting your technique right so that when you come into both legs moving at the same time, you know how to adjust yourself to make sure that you're staying in a nice position and staying safe through your body. Last one, exhale, we reach away long, keeping a little space under my low back. I reach away, my hips are level, and then inhale to come back in. Pop that foot down. Now we're going to squish the blueberry. You're going to put your hands in your tummy. We're going to take a breath here. We're going to take the supporting leg away, basically. We're going to exhale. We're going to inhale, take the breath nice and low. So nice big breath in, bring the breath nice and low. Then on our exhale, blowing out through your pursed lips. So lifting up gently like you're holding in a little bit of wind. Then sinking the belly button down towards the spine. So you feel your tummy pulling in away from your hands. It's a nice strong tummy. I'm going to inhale, pick up one foot. And on my exhale, I'm going to use my tummy muscles to deepen my abdominals. I'm going to zip my pubic bone up towards my belly button. Now my low back comes down to the mat. My hips and ribs are closer towards each other. I'm pulling my tummy away from my hands, and then I'm going to pick up my second leg. So the tummy is pulling away from your hands as you pick up that second leg. The low back is on the mat. The hips and ribs are knitting closer towards each other. And I'm zipped my pubic bone right up towards me. Now I'm going to try and keep this shape as the leg moves away. It's a little bit trickier, but we can do it. So let's bring your hands either side of the knees. Take a breath to prepare. Nice long breath in. I'm going to start by sending the right leg away. So it moves away. As it moves away, I deepen my tummy muscles. So hips and ribs closing in. The X in the front of my body closing in. I'm going to bring my hands either side of the bent knee that's closest to me. And then I'm going to inhale, bring that leg back in. Exhale, switch to the other side. I reach that leg out nice and long. Remember, we're trying to touch the wall on the other side of the room. The leg is long and strong. Inhale to take it back in. And again, exhale, stretch your way through that right side. Keep your hips level, keep your tummy tight, keep your low back towards the mat. Inhale to come back in. Exhale, strong breath out. Feel the tummy, imagine your hands are on your tummy and you're pulling your tummy away from your hands. Inhale back in, 2 more each side. Exhale, the hands move to the side, each side of the knee that's closest to you as the other leg moves away. Inhale to come back in. Exhale, strong breath out, the ribs roll in, the tummy tightens against the weight of the leg. Inhale back in, last one each side. Notice that long reach through the leg, the kneecap draws up, the glutes are strong underneath, so I'm not just hanging out the hip flexors. Inhale to come back in, last one. Exhale, we stretch away long. And inhale to come back in. Adding a little bit on, remember you can stick with doing what we were doing if you prefer. This time with more moving parts, so it's a little bit more pressure on the abs in a good way. So let's start by exhaling, send that right leg away, same as before. One hand either side of the bent knee towards you. Now as this right leg comes in, I'm going to swap legs. So I'm not bringing both in at the same time this time, they're going to be continually moving. So I'm going to swap as the right leg comes in, the left leg is going to go nice and long. And again, as the left leg comes in, the right leg is going to go long. Notice I haven't dropped my feet, so I can always see my feet. They're not dropping down because I'm not riding the bike. Yeah. And again, exhale. So it's a little breath in, but a big breath out. And again, deepen the abdominals as you go, keeping that low back towards the mat. And again. I'm not pulling this leg towards me. My hands are just resting towards each side of the leg. There's no pulling. My pelvis is staying drawn up towards me. My abdominals nice and tight. My low back down towards the mat. Last one each side. Exhale. Little breath in, big breath out. And taking both back in. Recover, take your knees into your chest. The last little thing is going to be lifting the chest up above the mat. And when I say it's a little thing, it's a big thing because it adds a lot to the exercise. If you want to leave your head, neck and shoulders on the mat, please do. Remember, when your head comes off the mat, when your chest comes off the mat, it's not your head coming off the mat, it's your chest. So it's not just the head and neck like this, because that's just going to really pull out of your neck. So we send the shoulders down the back. I'm going to inhale, nod the chin towards the chest and stretch out the back of my neck, sort of flattening out that natural arch that's there. And then on my exhale, I tighten my tummy in. I think of drawing my ribs towards my hips, and I lift my chest up towards my thighs. My head and neck come with me, but the movement is happening through the abdominals. The back is strong, my shoulders are drawing down, and I feel like I'm curling away. My shoulder blades are all the way off the mat. Now I'm going to send my right leg away. Keep hold of that left leg gently. Inhale here, and then exhale, switch. And switch. So you're looking for a nice smooth movement as the legs move away from you. There's no sloppiness. The low back staying on the mat. Curl up a little bit more. Remember, wrapping yourself into that beach ball shape. Get that nice bit of flexion through the back. And again. Remember, glutes engaged from underneath. We have one more each side. Curl up, chest to thigh. Last set. All the way back in, lift a little higher, inhale. And then exhale to come back down. Whew. Pop the feet down onto the mat. All right, last little thing, take your head block out from underneath you if you had one. Take your arms down by your sides. Feet are hip distance apart, parallel with each other. Now our feet are down, so we're back in neutral. So tilt and tuck. Get some space for that blueberry under the low back. Hip bone's nice and even. Take a breath here. Exhale. Tighten the tummy in. So wrap a little corset around your waist. Then press into your feet. Now we're lifting up, but we're not rolling up. We're coming up in a nice straight line, like a little drawbridge, straight up, one long line. And then we're going to inhale and we're going to lower down. And think of that space between the hips and ribs. Bring it all down together. So hips and ribs coming down at the same time. Exhale, everything up together. Nice long spine, nice strong glutes. And then inhale, take everything down at the same time. So ribs come down with us. And again, exhale. Press and lift. So just a little hinge from the hips. Open the front of the hips out. And then close the fronts of the hips back in again. Exhale. Tighten the tummy. Press into your feet. Lift your hips. Reach your knees forwards. Open the fronts of the hips. Inhale. Take everything back down. Long line. You are the drawbridge. One more. Exhale. Be firm on your feet as you lift those hips up. You've got that squeeze of the cheeks. You've got the sit bones coming together. And then we relax the glutes, the sit bones coming apart on the way back down. Beautiful, this time we'll stay. Exhale, press and lift to the top. I'm going to think about that X on the front of my body now. I'm going to shrink it in. I'm going to shift the weight onto my left foot. And on my exhale, I'm going to pick up my right foot. But before I pick up my foot, I'm exhaling. Tightening everything in, staying strong, corseting myself, and then I lift that right foot up, knee over hip. Now I'm going to inhale, I'm going to continue my hip lifts by bringing my hips and my ribs down towards the mat, and exhaling, pressing into the foot that's on the floor and driving myself back up again. So inhale to lower down, nice long spine, and exhale using that full footprint as I come back up. You can press down into the arms for a little bit of support here as well. Exhale, glide to the top. And again, inhale, both hips coming down at the same time. Press, both hips coming up at the same time. I think of that top knee lifting to the ceiling here. Two more, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Are you feeling that left leg yet? One more. Inhale to lower, I am. And exhale to lift, back up, stay here. Bring that right foot down, toe, ball, heel. Shift the weight firmly into that foot. Make sure that foot is underneath the knee. And on our exhale, shrink that X at the front of your body and pick up your left foot. So if you think of that line from your left hip to your bottom right rib here, keep that line nice and tight. Now we go again. Inhale, lower everything down together, hips and ribs. And exhale, drive into that foot that's on the floor and lift yourself back up. Inhale as we lift and lower. Be careful that your stationary knee doesn't fall off to the side. So keep it in line with your hip as you lift and lower. And again, inhale to lower back down. Try and keep those hips nice and level. Exhale. The abdominals, the obliques are going to stop you from falling off to the side here. And again, inhale to glide back down. Exhale to drive to the top. And again, I wish I was counting. I think we have two more. Exhale to lift back up. And again, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. The last one. Inhale to lower. Press into those arms if you need help. Exhale to lift back up. Or call an ambulance. Lower that foot down. Toe, ball, heel. And then roll through your spine. And take yourself all the way back to base. Sweet relief. Take your knees into your chest. Rock gently from side to side. We'll come into a little stretch. I'm going to take my head block back underneath my head. I'm going to cross my left ankle onto my right knee. I'm going to take my left hand in between my legs into the inside of that right thigh. Hold on behind that leg and bring my right hand around to the outside of my right thigh and hold on there. So if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, so my head block is helping me again to lift my shoulders off the mat a little bit. So I have more room through my arms. So sometimes I see people very curl up into a ball like this. If you really can't hold there, you can hold on to the leg that's closest to you instead. Yeah, and just gently pull down if that works better. So we're going to inhale here. Think of length through the spine and trying to create a little space for that blueberry under the low back. Probably not creating much space there, but the intention is there. And then on my exhale, I'm going to try and keep that space. So try and keep that long spine, long tailbone, and just gently draw this right thigh towards me. I'm looking for a stretch on the left side. And then inhale, release the tension. Exhale, pull in for 2. Inhale, release the tension. One more. And exhale. Try not to just curl into a ball. Think of the tailbone staying very heavy. Draw the right thigh towards you. Now take that right thigh and bring it a little bit more to the right. Don't fall over. Just go a little bit. Find the extra little stretch on the left side. And then come back to center. And then swap sides. So I'm going to cross my right ankle onto my left knee. I'm much stiffer on this side, so it won't look as nice. I'm going to take my left hand to the outside of my left thigh. Right hand comes through my legs to the inside of the right, left thigh, and I hold on behind that leg. I'm going to take a breath here, lengthen my tailbone, think of a little space for my blueberry under my low back, and then exhale to draw this leg towards me. And I'm always working within your own range. Like, this shouldn't feel like very painful. It should feel like a nice stretch. You're looking for getting benefits from these things. You're not looking to hurt yourself. And again, exhale to draw in. So always listening to your body, making sure that it suits you today, whatever exercise you're doing. One more. Exhale to draw in. Now take the left leg and bring it off to the left a little bit. Ooh, feel that through the right side in a good way. And then I come back to center. I'm going to let my right leg go long. I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders. And then I'm going to lift and lower the legs. Make a little rocking. And then take myself up to sitting. The legs come out in front. Give them a little shake. Take your arms out to the sides, up to the ceiling. Inhale. And then exhale. Draw the tummy in. Round your way up and over. Reach out over your toes. Look down at your knees. Take a nice big breath here. Exhale. Tighten the tummy. Roll your way back up. Gently does it. One bone after the next until we're nice and tall. Take your arms out to the sides. Cross your ankles in front of you. Release out those hips a little. And if you can roll onto your 4-point kneeling from here, you can. Otherwise, take yourself to 4-point kneeling any way you like. So I'm going to walk my fingertips, bring myself onto my knees, and uncross my ankles. I'm going to take my hip block away. I'm going to send the shoulders down. Take a breath. If you don't like going upside down, just bring yourself up to standing. If you're happy to go upside down, lift those hips, drop your chest between your arms, and then walk your heels. So looking for a nice little stretch through the feet, the toes, the ankles, the Achilles, the calves for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then walking the feet into the hands, or the hands into the feet. Take yourself into your forward fold. Let your head hang heavy, let your arms hang heavy. Breathe in. And then breathe out, tighten the tummy. Take your time now as you roll your way back up. There's no rush. Let your body readjust to being upright because it has been a minute. Once you're all the way up at the top, take your arms forwards and up. Press into your feet. Reach all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, stretch your arms out nice and wide. Draw your chin to your chest. And if you're happy to come forward for one more forward fold, please do. Inhale to stay here. Exhale, engage the abdominal, soften the knees, press into your feet. Roll your way back up. Arms coming forwards and up with inhale here. Exhale, out to the sides and down. Press those arms down. Inhale, forwards and up, lengthen to the ceiling. Exhale, send the shoulders down as the arms come down. One more. Inhale, glide all the way up. Exhale, take the arms a little bit back behind you. Keep the chest nice and wide. And then roll those shoulders back for 3. And for 2. And for 1, shake out the arms and shake out the legs. Well done, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this class as much as I did, and I will see you again soon. Thanks.